All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome. This is Dan with Chief Experts and on with John Schrader with Chief Experts and John Schrader Construction. So we are on our first live streaming call that we're trying to do something here. So bear with us. This truly is, we have our training wheels on, at least I do. And I'm just trying to get this figured out. I want to put together an event that we can be proud of and that you guys can learn a lot from and have some fun with. So part of our whole goal here is just to give back and communicate with everybody. Now, if you guys could, if you're, let's see, we got it. John Schrader, yes. Okay. If you could, if you're on YouTube, you might be on my website where it's showing, I should even brought it up. I'm not sure what it's showing, to be perfectly honest. But if you're on my website, you should be seeing the video. If right above the video, there's a chat on YouTube. So click on that and you'll be taken to YouTube. Oh, okay. So Ladine Nichols said hello. So cool. He's on YouTube and he put a comment in there. So that's awesome. That means it's working. So you guys, yeah, go to YouTube. I think YouTube's going to be the most flexible and easiest to use. So go to YouTube and you can do your chats from there. And we're really looking for a lot of two-way conversation here today. And I just don't want to have it just be me trying to talk about something. This is not a chief architect demonstration. This is going to go way beyond chief architect to where we're going to start talking about all sorts of things, software, marketing, sales. I've got a whole bunch of people that I'm looking to bring on as guests to talk about different topics. I'm really looking to you guys today for your ideas on topics that you would like John and I to bring to you. Because again, we could go all sorts of different ways, but I want to make sure that we're bringing to you what you want. Let me just check something real quick. Make sure that I'm on the right audio channel. Yes, I am. Okay. All right. So, so please go in and type something in the chat. Say hi. Say you can hear us fine. Again, we want to be this to be a two-way conversation. We got hello from Fort Worth. All right, cool. And Ladine says this is D. Hi, D. And you guys, please, yeah, go in the chat and start asking questions. We got Emboran. Hell, thanks for doing this. Northern California. Hey, I bet you we have just as good a weather as you guys do these days. It's really nice here in Minnesota. Let's see here. What do we got, John? Can you bring me back on? Oh, I didn't turn you off, John, did I?
No, I tried going to YouTube and it kicked me off.
Yeah, you won't be able to do both on the same computer. You could do it from a different computer. So because you're using your video and everything from one computer, you're not going to be able to do that. So we got Everett Elkins. Everett, hey, how you doing, man? Long time no see. Again, nice to see you. All right, cool. I love the ones that you guys have your pictures in them. Atlanta, is it a little warm in Atlanta? Cool. I love this where we can display the actual things that you guys are saying. So cool. Yeah, keep them coming, guys. Just keep talking. This is the idea that you guys can chat back and forth. So it appears that we've got a whole bunch of people on YouTube. Cool. We got a few on Facebook. And that's awesome. We got close to 40 people on the call right now. So this is amazing. John, what are your comments? What do you have to say today?
I'm just excited about trying this out and maybe even doing some time in the future here, and maybe even today, where other people get on and talk about how things are going for them too.
Yeah, we can do this. This is not Zoom. So we're not going to have everybody up on the screen. This is a program called StreamYard, where it allows us to do the streaming like this. So we're doing it on my website and YouTube and Facebook all at the same time. So it's kind of cool. So for us, it is a marketing technique for us to get more traffic at those places. So as we're doing this, we're recording it, and so that'll add to our YouTube channel. It's going to add to our Facebook group. So it'll give you guys something on there to look at and, give you some content. So they've been doing a lot of research on it. There's a bunch of people out there streaming, as you probably well found out these days. if you're busy, if you had a little time, you've probably been getting lots of emails. I think everybody and their brother is becoming an online streamer now. John, did you ever expect you'd be an online streamer?
I didn't.
Streamer guy?
I'm not super comfortable with it, but
we'll get there. We'll get there. So the cool thing about it is, again, it gives us the opportunity to chat with you guys. And again, you're already doing some chatting with us, and we really like that. So keep it up. Unfortunately, because I spent most of my day here struggling with technology, because I've been trying to get some things set up on my website for you guys to sign up and get to this. I want you to be able to get to the streaming channel really easy. And I ran into some code issues today, and it just totally threw me off. And the time I was going to prepare some information for you, I spent doing that. So I don't have a prepared topic right now, although there's some things I want to ask you guys, and I want to get into it with you a little bit. So tell me a little bit about, you guys, how you doing out there? I mean, I'd love to know if you're busy. I'd love to know if you've lost any work because of the COVID thing. I mean, this is, man, it's been really hard on a lot of people, and me included. It was just kind of weird. It's just, I guess, got in a funk, and I emailed yesterday for the first time in about 6 weeks, where I normally email you guys more often. But it's just time to get out of the funk and get moving forward. So again, that's part of doing this, and just working with you guys to see what we can do to help you in your business. So both John and I have been doing this design stuff for a long time. John, how long have you been doing design now on Chief Architect?
For myself, probably 10, 12 years.
10, 12 years.
Started out with 3D Home Architect in the 90s. So
okay. Yeah, but you've been designing a long time. But seriously on Chief Architect. Of course, I've been doing it since '93, so 27 years I've been on Chief Architect and really pushing it hard. So it's been a great journey, and I look forward to keep that journey going strong here. John, you've been in construction now since what? How long have you been doing contracting?
Since about 90 or 84.
84. Okay. Yeah. Long time. I did contracting from 76 to 96. I quit contracting. I gave up my license in 96 and went full bore into Chief Architect, and then doing design. I used to sell the program with Chief Architect. I used to be a dealer for the program. So I was constantly at trade shows and doing different things. I started doing training in version 2 of Chief Architect. So that was a lot of fun. So again, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of challenge, a lot of ups and downs, like everybody in their business, you just do it. And so you just go with the flow. Hey, Janet, how are you? Hey, I like that picture. All right. Hello from Winnipeg. Okay, Gail, I'm working full-time on residential house plans. No impact from COVID. Cool. That's what we like to hear. And I've been hearing a fair amount of that. Again, sometimes we can't tell who it is. Lives in rural area in Sierra foothills, busier than I want to be. Isn't that that's awesome thing to hear amongst all of the negativity that we hear out there about how people are losing their jobs and all that. It's tough. I mean, it's tough for a lot of people. I recognize that. And John, I know you do too. I know you've been keeping pretty busy. Yeah. It's just tough. And we want to, I know I'm eternally thankful for being busy and having everything that I have going on for me right now. So it hasn't impacted me at all. And, in fact, it's, kind of prompted me to do this streaming thing that we're doing because, I didn't do a lot of emails and things like that because I didn't want to be part of the noise that was going on out there. There's so many people were talking about all the things you should do, and it's kind of got to be blah blah blah, and it's like, to me, it was like kind of noisy. So I just kind of laid back and decided not to do anything. So I hope you guys don't see this as too much as noise, and we hope we can bring you some good information. This meeting today is really all about discovery. If you guys have specific questions about Zoom, about GoToMeeting, about ways to communicate with your clients, if you've been doing that, and you're using a different program, I'd love to hear what you're using. If you want to know about some other things that we're doing to communicate better with our clients, we'll let you know about that. I guarantee the next time we do this, we will have some great information for you that you'll find to be educational, and we'll bring lots of information for you. Again, part of that will be based on some of the feedback we get today. George says, I'm still pretty busy in Oakland, Berkeley, and the cities are still accepting plans via email. I know some places have been shut down that they weren't able to do construction. I know in Minnesota here, construction was an essential business, so they've been keeping really busy. So just about everybody I've talked to has been really busy. Bob says, anything I can get that relates to commercial office design and finish out would be extremely appreciated. Okay, so here's someone that's looking for work. So that's great, Bob. I'll have to figure out, we'll have to figure out where we can, John, we'll have to figure out how we can get somewhere where people can post this. A couple of things you guys might want to consider. John, I think you've been over there. On Facebook, there's a group. If you search Chief Architect on Facebook, there are some groups out there where you can post. I mean, you can post messages in all the groups, but there's one group specific for they're looking for help, and people are looking for help, or people have time and they're looking for work. So you can check on Facebook, just type in, just search Chief Architect and look for the group. See, how do I do this now? Let me see if I can show my screen. 1 second here. Again, training wheels. This is the first time I've done this. So I'm going to try to show my screen, and I need to go down here and choose what? Application window. That's what I'm looking for. Which one am I looking for? Bear with me. This one? Are you guys seeing the Facebook?
Yes, it was. Now it's the.
Okay, now you're seeing it again?
This is a Facebook ad, yes.
Oh, cool, it works. All right, so if you just go here and search Chief Architect, you'll find a lot of different resources for Chief Architect users. We've got the company website. They're posting lots of cool things. There's my website, the Chief Architect training. Here we have a group that you can join. We got users of Chief Architect user showroom, and what is the one?
Say Dan.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody else sees it this way, but your screen is really small. Is there a way to make it bigger?
I am full screen right now, so I don't know.
That's something we'll have to work on. Is everybody else seeing that his screen is about a quarter of the size of your screen? Is that what everybody's seeing?
Yeah, let me try pulling this tab onto a different screen and choose that. Again, bear with us. This is brand new technology for us too, so we're just trying to, most of the channels that you see people streaming right now, they're just doing the talking heads like we're doing. A lot of people, when you start sharing screens and different screens, and I've got 3 screens here, it gets a little tougher in figuring out where we're gonna, what screen is showing and what people are seeing. So, oh, here we go, Chrome tab. That's what I want. Aha. How about that, John? Is that better?
No, it's still the same.
You're not seeing a full size?
No, I don't know. It might be because I'm on the call with you.
That could be. So, bottom right-hand corner window has full screen.
Rebecca says she's seeing it full screen. She's doing good. It looks good to her. So
perfect.
It must be me.
All right. So again, back over here. I'm going to make that a point to. I'm going to keep some notes here about what we're going to talk about next time. Places to post for work. I mean, doing your own social media, doing your own marketing, calling your past clients. I mean, those are all different kinds of things that you can do to get the word out there. I know when people get busy, sometimes the marketing slacks off, and that's the worst time to do that. So you want to be careful with that. All right, so let's get back to this. Let's get back to this here. All right. Chief Talk too is another place where you can post that you've got time available to do work. But your website, social media, let your friends know, et cetera. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. Mark says, to me, the key to moving forward, at least for me, is how to message my clients and then to execute the idea of virtual sales call and virtual design collaboration. That'd be something that we should talk about, John. The virtual sales calls and collaboration. Let me just move forward here. Let me just look at the rest of the comments here for a minute, and then we'll get to that. Okay, Dan, I'm not looking for work. Just need to learn and use GA for commercial office design. Okay. Cool. I will be starting a class the third week of May. I will be posting information on that soon. Whether you're taking chief for residential, commercial, it's the same kind of things. You're drawing buildings. We're going to cover a ton of that stuff in those classes. So I will let you guys know about that. Looks like two mirrors facing each other. You guys should be seeing us, not seeing that anymore.
It's fine now.
Okay, good. All right. Everybody else says they see full screen. So many of you, I'm assuming, have probably gotten onto Zoom. If you hadn't been, I've been doing online meetings since 2005 with a program called GoToMeeting. So when you guys come to my classes, I'm always using GoToWebinar. And GoToWebinar has been a really great program for me. I'm grandfathered into their system, so that's part of the reason I keep using GoToWebinar. Plus, it just works. I've never had an issue with it. You guys seem to get logged in fine. You seem to be seeing things fine. You're asking questions. So, it's that old, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So that's why I stick with GoToWebinar. Plus, I'm grandfathered in at a really good rate that, for what I've got, you just can't beat the price. So it's really a cool deal. John, I know you're heavy into Zoom. Mm-hmm. And how many people, if you're using Zoom, type a little message in there that you're using it. Oops. Okay, now I wonder if you guys are still seeing my screen there. Yeah. So let me know, and if you're using Zoom or not. And I'll give you some pointers, some tips where you can find some really good information about that. One place is on YouTube. Well, you can find out just about anything on YouTube these days if you just type in the right search terms. But there's a website that I've been following lately who does a great job teaching how to use Zoom. So if you're looking for some advice about how to use it, how to use the green screen, how to use the different things in Zoom, there's a website called Dottotech, Dottotech. And let me go ahead and share that website with you. So let me go here and go to the Chrome tab again. And you see in the website now?
Yep.
Okay, cool. This guy I've been following, he does a great job teaching things. And if you just go to his, he offers different classes and things like that too. But take a look at his YouTube channel. Trying to find the link to his YouTube channel. He just released some classes for free on how to use Zoom. And I don't see his YouTube. It's got to be here somewhere. Anyway, just search out that same name on YouTube, Dotto. That's his name actually, Dotto, and then Tech, Tach. Search that on YouTube, and you'll find his channel on YouTube. Got just a ton of great technology type information that you can watch for free.
Was that We've had a few people mention that they're using Zoom. Does anybody have a platform out there that they use other than Zoom or GoToMeeting that they really like?
Mark's using Zoom. So I've been doing design work with clients online since 2005. I work with clients all over the country. I'm really surprised more contractors haven't adopted that sooner, because it's so effective. And John, I know you're doing the same thing with your online. You've done online training now and online design for a long time.
Right. Yeah.
So, and you've been getting really good with it. Tell everybody a little bit about how it went. Was it last week when you came to the Twin Cities to measure a job?
Oh, yeah.
And you were working with your daughter.
Yep.
She was at her desk and you were sending her information. What happened there?
So the way we did that is I went to the job site, took the measurements down on paper like I always do. And then if I were going to stay there and draw it, I would have just sat down and draw it from my paper measurements. But I just took a picture of it with my phone and sent her the measurements at her desk, at her office.
Okay.
And she started drawing it, and I went on to do something else. By the time I got done doing what I was doing, I went back to see how she was doing, and she said, there's a discrepancy here and here and here. So we went and checked it out, got it figured out. She redrew it. Then we got most of it done and got to the point where we really couldn't communicate just by talking like that, back and forth and sending pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually pulled Zoom up on my iPad and was able to see her screen, on my iPad and see what she was talking about easier.
Oh, okay.
So by the time we left, we had the thing, 95% done, and no discrepancies to worry about, at all.
Now with Zoom, you can do, and I don't use Zoom, so I'm a novice when it comes to Zoom. But you've told me that you can both share your screen at the same time.
Right. I think they've updated it now, so you don't even have to have two monitors. I haven't checked that out, but I've seen some hints of that. But all you have to do is both people have to have Zoom downloaded on their computer.
Okay.
And then you click a button that says multiple sharing, and then I can see the other person's screen, and they can see my screen at the same time. So for collaboration, that works really well.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing something with a client that you're designing for, and they're going on Wayfair or Houzz or something like that and looking at stuff, they could show you their screen right away if they have two monitors.
You don't have to switch back and forth.
Yeah,
that is one of the things I don't like about GoToMeeting that I use. Is I can't do that. I can only see my screen or your screen, but not both at the same time. And I think that's really cool, and I think that's a real effective way to work with clients. Real effective, actually.
And then for training, what we can do is I can have a copy of their plan on my computer and be talking about how to do different things, and they can actually do it on their plan. And if we run into a hiccup, then I just go do it on their plan and on my computer, and they can watch me do it, and then they can go do it. So it's really a cool tool.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to check that out, because there are times when it would be really nice for me to be sharing my screen with others. Again, I just haven't done it because I'm into GoToWebinar for so cheap that I can't not be in it. It's one of those deals.
One-on-one, Dan, you can do it for free.
That's right. With up to 3 people, right? For 45 minutes. Is that how that works?
I think I don't remember the number for 40 minutes, but one-on-one, there's not a time limit. There's not.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, one-on-one, there's not a time, but I think if you go up to 3, there's a 40-minute time limit or something like that. Okay, cool.
For the free version.
Aaron Roden says he's used Team Viewer in the past, pretty solid. We got Drew with Home Pro. Hey, Drew. Question for you: are you designing yourself, or do you consult with an interior designer and use their plans in chief? All of the above, I guess. I work. Well, I work a lot of different ways when it comes to designing with people. And I'll talk about what I do, John, and then let's talk about what you do. And I'd love to actually, I do want to talk more about these kinds of things here as we move forward. But when I'm working on someone's plan, of course, I'm not a contractor. I'm helping people with their plans. So often I'm just helping people fix things in their plans. So they might consult me for an hour or 5 hours or 10 hours, whatever it takes to get them through a part of their plan that they're struggling with and move them forward so they can get their plan done. When I'm working on plans, like I don't do a lot of plans these days because I'm focusing more of my efforts on, doing training and things like that. I'm working with a client in Texas on a very large project. We've been working on this over 2 years now, and it's a really big project. And it's been a lot of fun. My job is I work with the contractor, and with the contractor, he's very good at what he does, and he comes up with the ideas, and then we get together and work on them, and then I take them and I really fine tune the heck out of them. Then we get back together and we make tweaks and do all sorts of things like that. So right now he's working with the interior designer. So now, and I'm not working with it, I'm just working with him. He's my only contract, and whether he gets information from the homeowners, the designers, all of that, he comes back to me, and I become his kind of, I become the guy that organizes everything that he's doing into a workable plan and everything that he wants. And then I give him the information, he goes and proves it with everybody. So I do that. A lot of times I work with clients that need help, and so we'll be working on the plan. I'm pretty experienced, so I'll offer all sorts of things structurally, space layout ideas, things like that. My weak spots are landscaping and decorating. So I don't do either of those. Don't call on me to pick paint colors or to pick plants. So when you can get the right group of people involved in a project to work together, to collaborate together on that project, it really makes the whole project go a lot better. It's a lot more fun. John, what's your experience with that? I mean, you're working with your daughter right now.
Pretty much the same. I'm willing to work with anybody however they need to have the work done. The other thing I was just thinking while you were talking there is using that platform is also a really good way to, if you're a designer and you just like to prefer focusing on the person while you're meeting with them, you could bring a third person in that knows Chief really well, and they could be making those changes while you're talking to the client in this platform too. So does that make sense what I'm saying? So you have three people on the call. You have three people on the call. You have the client,
yeah,
that's designing for. You have the designer that would prefer to focus on that client while they're in the meeting, rather than making changes to a drawing. So bring in a third person that knows Chief, whether it's on your staff or somebody else that you collaborate with, that can just be sitting there on the side making the changes as they're talking. So then all of a sudden you can show the client what that change is going to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike is mentioning that. Oh, okay. I was clicking some buttons, so I see it changed how the text shows up. I liked it better the way it was. Let me go change that back. Like I say, training wheels here. We're figuring this out. See, what did I click to make that do that? I clicked on, there we go, default. I like that better. You can see that a little better. There's been a lot of talk on security of Zoom. Steve Dotto with Dotto Tech, check out his training. He talks about that. I haven't listened to it. He's got a whole series. I know he's got because I don't use Zoom, so I didn't listen to it. I don't know much about it. All I would say is research it. John, do you know anything about the security in Zoom?
Well, I did hear some things where people were getting into meetings and then kind of hacking the presentation and stuff like that. But if you make it so they have to be invited in, admit them in after they come to the site and stuff, I think that's taken away a lot of that. As far as sending information to China, I think that happens with more stuff than we know.
They're probably watching us right now.
I ain't gonna worry about it.
Yeah, I know. If it's not sensitive banking information, personal information, I understand the concern, but at the same time, we just got to keep moving forward, and there's really not much we can do about that. So it's a tough one. Mike says screen sharing is very effective. We were just talking about that, and I agree. So it's much more efficient than back and forth to PDFs. All right, so I think that makes sense. Although the PDFs are another great way to do it, and being able to no, this is not just about Zoom. We're just talking about different things. Thanks, Larry. That's a good question. Again, part of what we're trying to do, this is our first show. So we're just getting training wheels. We're just trying to figure out what we're doing here. And part of it is just having conversation about things that can help you in your design business. And so Zoom just happened to be one of the topics. I expect over the weeks, we're going to talk about a lot of different things. John, you going to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say, we're just talking about using different platforms to communicate with people virtually.
Right.
When I said the word client, I meant that means the person that I'm trying to help, whether it be a client that's using Chief and I'm training, or a client that I'm helping design their house. And then the third person would be somebody that's working with me to get that job done. Becca and I have had a lot of fun recently. We have a couple of clients that I do training for, and I've actually had her come and do most of the drawing because she just flies across the screen a lot faster than I can, and I'm able to talk and point things out while she's doing stuff because we're designing plans and doing training simultaneously.
Right. So she doesn't see as many squirrels as you do, huh?
Well, yeah, that and she's just faster at it, and well, we just concentrate on why we're doing what we're doing and be able to talk about that.
Yeah,
a little bit better and that kind of thing. And the people that we've done that with really enjoy it. So
George,
make it more fun.
Gregory's talking here about he designs with he works with 4 or 5 contractors and 1 interior designer. And for those of you out there that all you do are design, if you can align yourself with 2 or 3 or 4 really good contractors and work with them to develop a system. Let me give you a few thoughts on this. This is excellent, Gregory, and it is a great way to keep yourself busy. I over the years, I've done work for some specific contractors. Again, I don't do a lot of design now. I work with 1 contractor right now, and that's all I want. I don't want any more. So call John, you guys, if you need help with plans. Don't call me, or you can call me for help, but not for doing full plans. If you do that, then I won't get my training stuff done. That's been the thing that's been killing me over the years. Is I always say yes, and I've been saying no lately. So it's a good problem to have. But yeah, over the years, I've aligned myself with a few different contractors that would keep me really busy. I mean, and right now, just this one contractor gives me enough work to keep me really sharp on Chief and gives me just enough work. So I'm filling about 20 to 25% of my time with his stuff. And that's freeing up the rest of my time to work on my website and my training and different things for you guys, like this streaming channel. John, you've got a few different contractors that you've aligned with over the years, right? That you do a lot of design with?
Most of the time, I don't feel like I'm doing a lot of design. They have designs that they've already had developed in AutoCAD or something like that.
Okay.
And they want to switch it over to Chief. So I've been helping them. So true design, I haven't done a lot of that in the last couple of years, but
sure. This is, yeah, Mike, a good point here too. So the downside of screen sharing is you have to be knowledgeable and capable with Chief. You might look like a fool, kind of like I was doing with the streaming thing today. And you got a good point. Chief for me, and I know for you, John, it's an extension of our mind. It's just a way that we can communicate with people because now we know the program so well. We just zip around in it and do our thing while we're talking to people. So I know for me, I've gotten so good with Chief. I just go. I don't even have to think about what I'm doing anymore. That comes with experience and working with Chief.
That's why I mentioned bringing a third person on that knows Chief better.
Yeah. But Mike, let me add to that, Mike. In the early days, when I was getting started with Chief, I used to take my computer out. I mean, the day I got Chief Architect version 1, and I loaded it on my 286 computer. It was about noon when I got the discs, and I I was excited, man. I loaded that sucker up because I was looking for a CAD software. This is 1993 now. It was just 2D. It didn't have any 3D into it. So all you could do is draw walls and put doors and windows in and add dimensions and things like that. It was really cool. I mean, compared to anything else that I had found out there at the time, that was amazing. Now, I was working on a second story addition for a client at the time. I went out, I contacted that guy, my client, and I took my computer over to his house at about 6 o'clock that night. It was 6:30. Big old 17-inch monitor, my big old 286 desktop computer, and we set it up, and we worked on his plan till 2 in the morning. All right, and I got that job, just like that. So because I was there working with him, and I was there learning the software at the same time I was working with him. Although, again, remember, it was super, super simple back then. There was no 3D, but we were able to move walls around, try different room arrangements, do all sorts of different things, and it was really cool. Now, what I've done over the years is I'll take my computer, or I'll work with the client on my computer to a point that I'm comfortable. Maybe drawing some walls, adding some addition doors, windows, adding some cabinets, things like that. Don't try showing them all the 3D of the room heights and the roof and all that stuff, the things that you're not comfortable with. So use the computer, use Chief for the things that you're comfortable with. It still becomes a great communication tool for you and your clients to move forward in the project. Let them know, hey, this is, when you start showing them all the buttons in Chief Architect, yeah, it's pretty complicated. Turn on when you're in Chief, turn on the extended toolbar. Just right click on any icon and click on the, let me see if I can bring that up, John. So I'll do one Chief thing today. Again, this is not a Chief training session. Let me see if I can show this properly. So let me click on show screen and application, and here it is. Let me share that. You should be seeing Chief. So if you right click on any icon, go to toolbar configuration and select extended tool configuration. And that's going to bring up a lot of icons on your screen. And if you're ever concerned about a client saying, well, you make it look so easy. I mean, in drawing walls and doors and windows and stuff, yeah, it's kind of easy. But it's really not, because just because you know how to use a skill set doesn't mean you can build a house. Okay. Just because you know how to draw a wall in a CAD program doesn't mean you can design a plan. And you got to let people know that. But I don't know. I've never had any problem working with clients on the fly. They love it. It's just a great sales tool. You get to really know your clients. They trust you. So it really is a great way to do your projects. Do it to the extent that you feel comfortable. Okay. That's why your training videos are a great option. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. And I got lots of new ones coming. So now that I fit, seriously, last 3 months, I've been working on this big project more time than I needed to and or wanted to, but I'm done with that now. The downside of screen, okay. Let's see, I have to get down. I'm moving ahead here. Builders can make up and keep decisions. Customers home, okay. Framing background, exactly. All right, cool. Good questions, you guys. So let's go back to John to talk a little bit about, and again, you guys keep asking questions. And again, let us know, please put in the comments here, let us know what kind of things you would like to know more about. You want to learn more about how to market your design business? You want to learn about how to price it? How do you want to price your projects? You want to know about marketing. You want to know about accounting and bookkeeping. So, I mean, I've gotten to know a ton of really bright people in this marketplace, and many of them would love to come on and talk to you guys about things that you would be interested in knowing about. So please let us know. The Chief Architect, that's a different time. That's a different channel. This is about the business of design. We want to help you do better in your business. Are you still seeing my screen?
I'm just seeing the two of us.
Huh, because I had a different button push where it should have been showing part of the screen. All right. Next time I'm going to have another computer set up so I can watch what's happening. All right, good points. He works with a handful of contractors. And they need how to use materials efficiently. Yeah, even though my number is unlisted, I need to know on how to use materials. I'm not quite following you on that one. Okay. Okay. Barricade. I'm an old Bay Area carpenter, and most of my contractors work for started as host flippers, so they don't know much. You know, I work with all levels of people in the industry. This is really interesting these days, and you're going to find in this industry, in this space that we're in right now, one of the biggest trends I've seen for companies is women coming into the office to do the sales, run the business. I mean, a lot more women are coming into the construction field, which is absolutely fabulous. Okay, and I work with a lot of them. They do design, they do sales. They work great with clients. It's just like, it's really cool, but not a lot of them have built a house. All right. So, and this is true for guys too. I shouldn't just say women.
It seems like the general way things are going.
It is. You get a young person, and I can say young person because I'm an old guy. Not as old. I'm a little bit older than John, but but the kids coming in the marketplace now, and they can pick up chief, and man, they can just draw stuff like crazy, go to town, like your daughter.
Yeah.
But ask them how to lay out the framing and do the floor joists and the structure, and can this roof possibly be built, and all of those kinds of things. Man, they need a little help with that, and they pick up quick. Most people pick that up pretty quick. So I don't know where I'm going with this, John. I think part of it is, just there's different areas, different levels when you get into chief or when you get into design, period. You can be a good designer and space planner. You can be a good interior, laying out of space with colors and things like that. Find your niche and really focus on that. Focus on where you're really good, but then start working on the other areas. One of the things I would really recommend to a lot of people, and I do recommend this to a lot of people, if you're a carpenter, go get your go into NARI and get your certified remodeler carpenter designation. If you're a contractor, get your CR. If you're a kitchen, get your NKBA kitchen designation. The designations are great. The little initials after your name are awesome. It's the education you'll get out of getting those initials. That's where you're going to really benefit, and that's what you're going to make a lot more money when you start getting that knowledge on how to do things. So anything you can do to get that. Mike says, sorry, his message is jumbled. He said it in two parts. Yeah, my head's a little jumbled too. And that's, get an accurate materialist. So as a designer too, and one of the things we'll talk about, I got to go back to some of my old presentations and flush them out. I used to talk a lot about what are the things you have on your designer shelf, so to speak. I mean, John, what are the things that you sell in your business?
That I sell?
Yeah, you sell training, you sell design,
sell drafting.
You sell what?
Drafting.
Yeah, you just draft.
Yep.
You're still a contractor, so you sell projects. But within those items, there's other areas that you can sell things. Like when you do a chief, you're doing a 3D model. You could sell a rendering as a separate product. You could sell full-blown working drawings, details separately from just the conceptual stuff. So you can, it's one price to get conceptual. It's another price for full-blown working drawings, because all the details take a ton of time.
Those online meetings could be a separate product.
Yeah. Interior design, colors, fabrics, things like that. Of course, that's interior design. So take a look at what you do and think of the things that you could add to your your product line, so to speak, where you could be making more money doing those things that interest you, especially. Do you like doing material lists? Do you like doing takeoffs? Do you like doing schedules? Do you like, creating the specifications for a project? Those are all little things that you can add to the list of offerings that you bring to the marketplace. So I think, keep those kind of things in mind. Material listing capability chief would be super useful. Understanding the material list capability in chief. Yeah, that's an area that, John, have you been getting into that much lately?
Material list?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just did one recently for a material list. The one thing I want to mention about that is it takes chief to a whole nother level, because you have to draw the house exactly how it's going to be built.
Yeah.
You might have in one house where right now you only have an exterior wall and an interior wall that you're drawing. If you're going to do an accurate material list, you might have 7 exterior walls that you're using.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 interior walls.
With all the right thicknesses, materials, stud spacing, kind of studs. Yeah, it's really tricky. I found it easier to do remodeling material list takeoffs than new homes. However, but that's my background. So it's there. If you can draw your house accurately, chief can do a pretty good material list. It's got a long ways to go, though, because you're not going to get things like fastener and caulking and all of those kinds of things. But you really do have to understand chief architect, the drawing and modeling capabilities of it really well in order to get it. I would say the next step before you get to materialist is start working on creating really good schedules and really learn the scheduling capabilities in chief architect. The scheduling capabilities in chief are absolutely phenomenal now. They've done such a good job on it. You can create a schedule for anything, and you can put anything on any schedule that you want to. So really dig into that. In fact, that would make for a good class all by itself, John.
Yeah.
So if you can get schedules down, you're one step closer to getting really good material lists. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, so where was he? Someone here says they use Evernote to stay organized. What other cool apps do people use? That'd be a good class. Yeah, organizing tools.
Yep.
I use OneNote and the application that Google has called Google Keep. Google Keep keeps track of my to-do list, so to speak, and OneNote is how I keep track of all of the other crap that I'm doing. I mean, I got a pretty good document going. I really like OneNote a lot. In both of the apps I talked to you about, Google Note and OneNote on all my phones. It's on all my devices. And if I have a thought, I can post it anytime that I want to. I know a lot of people love Trello. I didn't like Trello. Not sure why. I tried it. I didn't care for it that much. John, are you using any apps to kind of track your stuff?
I'm starting to use a lot of the Google stuff.
Yeah.
Google Calendar, Google, Sheets, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Google Calendar is really phenomenal. And again, it's always with you wherever you go, and you can create all these different separate calendars. And so I have a family calendar, I have a work calendar, I have a nary calendar that I have, and I can just sort those out by any of the calendars I want to and post to those calendars. So I can really keep track of things easily. And actually that has a to-do list function to it too, but I didn't find it that helpful for me. I'm not really good with to-do lists because when I put it on a to-do list, it's like a to forget list because I've written it down, so I don't need to think about it anymore, right? So I keep 2 to-do lists now. I have one to-do list with all my stuff on it, and I have another to-do list that is just for the current things I need to get done. So it might only have 6 or 7 things on it. So if you're like me and you have trouble with to-do lists, try that, and I think you'll like it. So when I do manage to finish something on my small list, I get rid of it, and then I can go add something else to it. So what it does for me is I'm not overloading my brain by putting too many things on one big long list. And then I look at that list and I go, oh shit, I'll never get all that stuff done. Maybe you're not maybe you guys don't keep long lists like I do, but if I don't write something down, I will forget about it. But it's kind of interesting.
Like reminders, a reminder list, something that my phone will remind me to do something.
Yeah.
instead of a to-do list. Because like you said, I do the same thing. I write it down and it's gone, you know. But if I say, remind me to do this tomorrow at this time, then it brings it back. So
yeah, and that's a good way to do it too. And most of these list tools you can set reminders for. Larry Smith, he works for Remodel Contract 45 years. Larry, you're about in our boat here as far as how long you've been in this business. So good for you, though. Welcome to Chief from AutoCAD. That's awesome. Whenever people ask me, about AutoCAD, I will always preface that Chief is for design of buildings. Chief is just as powerful as AutoCAD as far as all the tools you need to do those kinds of details. It's just different. All right, so it's all there. All the tools that you use in AutoCAD to draw things are there. It's not as robust as the Chief as the AutoCAD 2D functionality. But it's there. The keystrokes, the things, a lot of people use hotkeys for things. Yeah, you can get pretty damn close to what you were doing in AutoCAD now. Chief can be dissected to sell parts. Oh, you are saying this right now. Bill, I'm not following that train of thought. Can you specify that a little bit more?
When you were talking about selling different products.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The idea of doing just a floor plan and the elevations is one product. Giving
step it up, yeah.
Perspective is another product.
Yeah.
And actually going online or having them come to your office and showing them the 3D walkthrough, putting it there so that they can see the walkthrough is another product, because that, in reality, that product takes more time for you to do because you have to go make sure everything is fitting together right in Chief.
Yeah.
To give them that true 3D model. So it has more value.
Mike says he uses a stick framing. I love it when people do stick frame too. It's much easier to draw their plans. Then you don't have to worry about the trusses. Although done plenty of trusses too. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that. And I love the new, and this just goes to show there's always something new to learn. On this big project I've been working on, they've been using these new floor trusses that have a 2-foot eye joist on the end of it. It's like the cord comes over and then it's plywood. So it's trimmable up to 2 feet on each end of the truss. So now you can order your trusses in 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 foot lengths, or probably even a lot longer than that, and trim them to what you need. That's cool. I really, really like that. Let me know, have you guys ever seen that kind of truss? Have you used that kind of truss? I thought I had not seen that until about a month ago. And I thought that was really, really, huge. Dropbox, big resource. Yeah, Dropbox is a big resource for a lot of people. And a lot of people don't really understand what Dropbox is and how it works. And in a nutshell, Dropbox is you're renting some hard drive space online. You store files on that hard drive space online. And you do it by downloading their app, putting on your computer. It puts the files. You have a Dropbox on your computer, and things you put in that Dropbox on your computer go to the online hard drive. Again, it's just a hard drive. You're renting a little hard disk space. And if you share that something in there with someone else, then it goes to their Dropbox and then gets downloaded to their desktop, and then vice versa. So it's just kind of back and forth, and it's a great way to keep your files backed up. Now you can also get that with OneNote, not OneNote, but Microsoft Live gives you a terabyte of space with their Office. Is it Office 365? Is that what they call it? The Office, where you get all the Office, Word, Excel, all of that stuff for it's like $110 a year, and you get 5 copies of that. You can put it on 5 computers, and each user of that, each one of those people gets 1 terabyte of storage online, and it's really inexpensive. Dropbox, I think, is $120 a year for 2 terabytes of storage. I put everything into my Dropbox. That way it's uploaded online, and it's in all my different computers. And when we get to our tech class, when we talk about technology, we should talk about that too, and how you can specify in Dropbox just certain folders to be downloaded to your laptop or something like that, because maybe you don't have enough hard drive space there. Cool. Let's see, where was I? Project scheduling. Yeah, John.
I was laughing at Mike's comment. He said, trimmable core trusses are for people who make mistakes before the framer gets on site. Amen.
There you go.
He says that's a dig towards the foundation guys, but that could be a designer thing too.
It could be a lot of different things. You know, it's one of those things where the painter just can't fix that one. So, isn't that how that goes? A good framer, yeah, the drywaller will fix that, and the drywaller says, yeah, the painter will fix that.
Yeah.
We used to say close enough for government work. Project scheduling, that would be a great topic. I would love to talk about that someday. But Chris, that'd be great. Yeah, I don't do much with that, so we'd have to bring in someone to talk about that.
Yeah, and bring that up. We are looking for people to contribute to this too. So
yeah,
anybody knows out there that they see doing something that they like, we could contact them and see if they would like to come on and talk about it.
Yeah. I mean, John and I could get up here and jabber all day long if we wanted to, but we don't want to do that. We want to bring in people that know what they're talking about really well, and they can really bring you the best. You know, we get an hour. We want to bring you some really great content in that hour. So again, we're just kind of jabbering and rambling today a little bit, but it's been kind of fun actually to talk about some of these things, because I usually don't get a chance to talk about these with other people, and I know you don't either, John. Thanks for that. I was moving pretty quick today. I had some computer issues this morning. It's just like I almost didn't click start today. Just Trello, yep, but not enough to use it all the time. So that's just it. Yeah, if you're not going to use it. Now, there's so many programs out there now. It's just like, oh my God. As I have everything out waiting on others. Yeah, that's really good mission. New lists every day. Yeah, list keeping is, you do have to kind of keep up on that and do it every day. Uses Outlook calendar. That's just that works as well as any program. Nice to learn about some of the resources you pull from for design. Okay. What kind of resources do we use to pull? Google Earth. There's some of the, what's the one?
House and.
Well, you got House. What's the one where you take pictures of the house and send it in, and then they send you back the Hover. That they've gotten a lot better. You know, kind of some of the things you're talking about. That is an area I do want to research more. How do we get building information? And again, please let us know if you know of any good apps, there's a lot of these 3D scanning things that you're starting to see that you can walk through the room and scan it. Does it work for you? What's that one that you set it up, it takes pictures of the whole house, and you go to the next room, and I'd love to get the people, you know, I'm talking about I've seen that the Matterport. That looks like a really cool program. And I know a lot of people are using that now. So there are a ton of different ways to do it, to measure buildings, to get the information you need for your building projects. Multi-level service pricing. Multi-level service pricing. Multi-levels of service, yeah. We're not going to do a pyramid type pricing thing. AutoCAD Rector Leverett and recently scheduled Pro for me. It's Chief Architect hands down. Cool, George. Yeah, Chief is an amazing program, especially once you get used to using it. Let's see, we're at just about an hour. Trim 4 trusses. Yeah, that was a good comment. We got learn AutoCAD and Solid Builder and Chief. Yeah, and I get people using programs that they're used to. I mean, sometimes you just need to get the work done. Market Sharp is a program that I would like to talk a little bit more about sometime. So I've always loved that program. I love their concept of how you would keep track of everything. Drew, if you get a chance sometime, call me, and I'd love to talk about that program. And maybe if you're using it well and you're comfortable with it, I'd love to do a presentation on that, and because it really is a neat program, and they've been around for a long time. I know it's not cheap, but I'll bet it's really paying for itself for what you guys do. So, and there's so many other programs out there now. You got your Co-Construct, and there's a lot of them. All right, I think we're going to call it here. you guys, thank you for joining us. Guys, we had 65 people on here right now. This is amazing. Thank you for being here. And yeah, this is just, again, our first shot at doing this. It seemed to work pretty well. Like anything, as you do it, as you get into it and do it more and more, you're going to get better at it. And we promise we will bring you lots of great content. So keep up the good work, you guys. Stay safe, stay positive, keep moving forward. John, you got anything you want to add about that?
I just wanted to mention that Mike said he's going to pass it on to his industry friends to get on the subscription. Is there anything special that they need to do that, or just go to YouTube and sign up?
You can go to YouTube. You know what I would ask, if you don't mind, go to Chief Experts Academy, and we'll have that sign up on the homepage. You don't need to do that. However, if you do that, we have the little RSVP thing that a lot of you probably did to get here. That'll add you to our mailing list, so that we can let you know. What we'll do is then we can send out reminders before the show starts and things like that. And then we'll send out our little notes about, what we talked about and, where you can get things. If you just go to YouTube, you won't get those reminders like that. But you're welcome just to go to YouTube, and you can just log on to the show anytime you want. So, but this has been fun. I'm looking forward to doing a lot more of this. We'll be doing our next Chief Architect class. If you go to Chief Experts Academy again, you'll see on May 13th, I think it is. Yeah, 2 weeks from now. Doing one on some 10 techniques, which I just throw 10 on there because it seems like a neat thing, but a whole bunch of techniques that you can use with Chief that will really help you in your drawing process. I've done that in the past. I'm going to flush out some of the things we've talked about and update you on some of the new things you could do. So you pick up a ton of great tips on that. So we do that Chief Architect course once a week, or once a month, I should say. Everybody that wants to can come to the live classes. The recordings are put into the Pro Academy over at Chief Experts. And then again, mark your calendar. At this point, the goal is to start my Mastering Chief Architect course on May 20th. And again, in the next few weeks, we'll be letting you know about all that too. So it's been a long time coming. It's been 6 years since I've done that course, and it's time to get it going again. And I've got a lot of changes and a lot of new things to add to it. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's gonna be a good course. Cool. This is fun. Thanks, guys. Stay healthy, stay busy, stay whatever you want. John, you get the last word.
Well, everybody's saying they enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to doing more.
Cool. We'll make it happen. Okay. See you later, guys. Bye now.